And out of our first story, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, has visited Asawase in the Ashanti region following a series of violent incidents that claimed the lives of 2 individuals, including a chief in the F-line area. The IGP's visit comes in the wake of growing public concern over rising insecurity in the area after non-gunmen fatally shot the Asawase chief of the Ashanti region, Abdul Malik Azembe, in front of his residence on Tuesday night. Another civilian was also reportedly gunned down under the mysterious circumstances yesterday, sparking outrage and fear among residents. The IGP is currently touring the various crime scenes. We will speak with my colleague Nana Boachiyadom to get updates. But first, here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
The Asawase constituency, where we believe that some assailants have gunned down gentlemen believed to be on a motorbike. Although the persons are unidentified, we are getting intel, or the speculations around is that the shooting incident is connected to the Boko unrest. It is worthy for us to note that this particular area is exactly the place where less than a week ago the Gusasi deputy chief was shot. You can see that the residents here are in disbelief of the incident, because what they tell me is that it's very disturbing, considering the fact that in less than a week 2 shooting incidents have happened. The victim had just finished eating and returning to his car when the motorcycle drove by, opening fire.
Free marks by 130. And before you bedrew Menshia Road, no so Oba Methodist, baby, I talk us on.
We had just returned from the mosque, heard gunshots, and when we rushed here, we saw the dead body.
And me pato di AC, you know, a very, very unfortunate to say, Sa Adena AC, there's a 24 hours ni, and any 2 days, the same thing ACA. The same thing ACA, Nina, and ya adepa.
Asawase has become a threat. We appeal for more security, at least. We appeal for more security, at least a police post to keep this place safe.
Especially Asawase Methodist from Yila, F-line, any Zongo ha, Yawahaumupa, and TS Aban, say, Sergeant ha, especially. One man's security, Ember have for 24/7. Ember should be Asawase Jomso Market, and Yama police for Ember now, Ember say no boy.
This bamboo for no more day. Almost original, yes, sir. Yeah, near one dinner, the Omber Kuyasa. And so,
2 assailants have gunned down a man who just finished eating and was, according to eyewitnesses, was just about to hold into his car to leave the scene. And the body at this point has been deposited at the Menshia mortuary to keep our ears also on the grounds and pick any information as and when they come. My name is Clinton Yeboah. I've been reporting for Joy News.
Also, we're joined on Zoom by Nana Boachiyadom to give us more update. Now, what is the latest update from the Asawase incident?
Well, Winston, now the Asawase area is near a security zone as I speak to you, with the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu, currently at the area. He's been visiting the crime scenes almost everywhere that matters in the Asawase enclave has felt the presence of the Inspector General of Police. The first port of call was the Asawase F-line area, where the Kusasi chief was unfortunately murdered over the week. He then moved on to the Menshia enclave, where we have the seat of the Asantini, another place that has been beefed up by security to make sure that the incidents do not escalate to that area. We know that Asawase and Menshia share some form of border and very close areas, And so if you beef up security in Asawase, you have to beef up security at Menchia. That's the same reason why the IGP has been to the Menchia enclave as well. He's also been to the Asawase Zongo, where he's been interacting with the security men, policemen on guard, with lots of barricades being put up over there to make sure that the RECSEX directive as to preventing motor riders from wearing smogs and also from having their rides all over the city area at 7 p.m. be put on stop. So all of these things have been put together with the IGP and a high-level delegation from Accra currently in the vicinity.
And we also know that the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council has issued a statement in response to this incident. What does it say, basically?
Well, so the statement is basically wrapping up or summing up the directive that was being put up by the Regional Security Council during their emergency meeting over the week. One is to make sure that you do not drive a motorbike after 7 p.m. And this is to prevent any form of attack by these individuals who have earlier done same using motorbikes, and also to prevent anybody in a motorbike from wearing smokes. Believe that most of these incidents had persons riding motorbikes having their smokes on, and in the smokes they keep in weapons and some of these AK-47 rifles that have been detected. And so the RECSEX directive is to make sure that security is being put in place, and also to make sure that all of these individuals who drive motorbikes put up careful measures.
Also, what is the Ashanti Regional MPP Parliamentary Caucus also speaking about on this development?
Well, so they've made some 3 points in a release that just came out, signed by the Honourable Vincent Asawase, who is the Member of Parliament for the Otafo constituency, and he happens to be the Secretary of the MPP Parliamentary Caucus. So the three demands that they've put up right now is that a full criminal investigation should be put into the recent murders with timely and transparent updates to the public. Secondly, deployment of adequate police personnel and intelligence resources to safeguard vulnerable communities, not just Asawase. And also a clear and public commitment from the Ministry of Interior and the police on measures being taken to prevent further violence. This, they say, is a movement that calls for national responsibility, not partisan reaction. The safety of the people is a fundamental duty of the state. And they say that they will continue to raise their voices, not for political gain, but because the people deserve to live without fear. This signed by Vincent Asawase and then the Honourable Kwame Anyimedu Entry, all from the MPP Parliamentary Caucus.
And Abachi, we'll be following up on subsequent bulletins as well. Thank you for giving us that update. Now, away from that, this afternoon, former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffuor and his co-accused in the Unibank case may be off the hook for now, but not forever. That's according to Professor Kofi Abochi, Dean of UPSA Law School, who says the Attorney General's nolli prosequi does not mean acquittal. The AG dropped the case this week after recovering over 60% of the 5.3 billion Ghana cedis lost in the Unibank collapse. Speaking on Newsfile, Professor Abochi said the accused could still face trial if fresh evidence or charges emerge.
First of all, when a court or an attorney general is making decisions on the preference of charges or the determination of guilt on a person, one of the key factors that are considered is the issue of scapegoating, whether or not the offense, the person is a repeated offender, and in this context, whether or not anybody has even been punished in respect of a similar behavior in the past. It would seem that there is a sense of scapegoating here, i.e., even if this had happened in the past, perhaps there hasn't been a prosecution, or perhaps there hasn't been, the state hasn't chased after this to ensure that there's a refund. So the accused person involved may perhaps be facing a scapegoating scenario, being scapegoated for the first time to demonstrate the state's resolve not to tolerate this moving into the future. And for scapegoat purposes, one is confronted with both punishing harshly to make a statement that this shouldn't happen again, but also one is confronted with the reality that this person is truly the first person being punished. Not only is there no template, but this person, unfortunately, is being used as a scapegoat. So should not unnecessarily be unduly punished. These considerations can pull a decision maker in different directions, and the Attorney General will have to make a consideration of whether or not the person should not be unduly punished, given the fact that he's the first person to face similar charges moving forward into the future. So I suspect that the AG might have confronted the fact that we haven't had anybody facing a similar punishment in the past, and so we shouldn't unnecessarily, unjustifiably punish him, or rather subject him to a rather high standard when others might have done this in the past and nothing happened. To be clear, I do not know the exact considerations that went into the Attorney General's decision-making. I'm only second guessing him, and I'm just using general principles to make a point. And the point I'm just trying to stress is a person making such a decision, especially in respect of someone who might be facing this for the first time or was among a group of people who faced a similar thing at the same time, will consider the scapegoating effect. But the point you've made is equally correct, i.e. the fact that we would have to have a comparator in mind. And the comparator or the comparative framework here, the person involved is probably in jail. If I did hear your figures right, it may seem that Dr. Dufour is paying higher, or rather is paying more than Mr. Asawase.
Energy analyst and MPP communicator Kojo Poku fears the AG's new 60% recovery rule could encourage looting disguised as settlements.
Then you see that I like the bit where Professor Bochi comes in and says there's a discretion and the Constitution gives discretion and all that, but it's the state's money. I mean, I really don't think that somebody appointed an Attorney General today, 2.2, Attorney General is in court, is in many courts. And rightfully, all the lawyers have said that you give a nollie prosequa, you don't give explanation. Case ends there, because they've done it in several cases, right? There are many nollie prosequa that no explanation was given. Everybody will speculate and say whatever. But this case, you've opened yourself to the conversation.
It's progressive jurisprudence.
Well, that's fine. But
there's public interest. So if you file a nollie prosequa, explain.
But the point is that what explanation you are given that you think that you do not want to now chase after that because it is not well. Attorney General across the country, the state attorneys are in court for 100 cedis, 20 cedis, 50 cedis, people who have stolen goods. They are being prosecuted.
That's right.
So why are you telling me that 2.2 billion is what? Is you don't have enough money to go after 2.2 billion? That is where the state is looking. And especially from a government who told us that they are going to protect our public purse.
Now, away from that, President John Mahama is urging all factions involved in the Nkwanta conflict to lay down their arms and give peace a chance. Speaking during his thank you tour of the OT region, he described the recent killings as unacceptable and called on the people to prioritize peace over violence. But before we hear from him, the president of the OT Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Soglo Alod IV, is appealing for the establishment of a permanent military base in the Dambai or in Nkwanta to bolster security and ensure a quick response to a future threat.
Your Excellency, the region is currently experiencing serious ethnic and chieftaincy conflicts, and these are of national security concerns. There are pockets of ethnic violence in Nkwanta South constituency, chieftaincy conflicts in Pai Katanga and in KJB Akan constituency, and anticipated ethnic violence in Pasa and its environment. We urgently need the attention of the national security to tackle these conflicts before they take different dimensions. We are also pleading with the government to establish a permanent military base in the region to be situated either in Dambai or in Nkwanta.
We can now hear from President Mahama. He is calling for calm, urging the factions to give peace a chance.
My brothers and sisters, I cannot conclude without talking about peace. All these things I've talked about, all this infrastructure development I've talked about, cannot take place if we do not have peace. And that's why the development in Nkwanta is troubling. I wish to appeal to all those in Nkwanta who are involved in the conflict to please lay down your arms. And so please, let's give peace a chance. Every once in a while, in the security reports, I read very disturbing news about people who have died, including students. It's completely unacceptable. Let's dialogue. Let's use our traditional mechanisms to establish peace, because we have to live together. We're one and the same people. Our common enemy is poverty, not ourselves. We should be fighting poverty, not fighting each other. And so government will make sure that we provide the appropriate security to ensure that people are able to go about their businesses without fear of being harmed.
Now, moving on, former Roads Minister Francis Asawase is dismissing claims by the Finance Minister that the Akufo-Addo administration diverted funds meant for key road projects. Francis Asawase says the $750 million Afrexim Bank facility secured under the previous government was not limited to the Fankor in Sawam Road or Swame interchange, as claimed by Finance Minister Dr. Kesela Tuforsen. According to him, the loan was a multi-purpose infrastructure facility transparently approved by Parliament to support several major projects nationwide. He delved into that shortly. First, let's go to the screens and look at some of the key projects that he basically spoke about in this slide. We basically named some roads, including the ones at Sawam, about how much has been spent, and that is in a slide that we'll be bringing to you on the screen right about now.
Contracts were inherited. Some of the projects were inherited, like, for example, the road leading to Fankor towards, I've forgotten the name of the...
is it the Sawam? Yeah.
For example, the previous administration took a loan of $750 million from Afrexim Bank. And they said they were going to use that to fix the road. They paid about $100 and something million to the contractor. The contract, that particular contract, was about $336 million, and they paid only about $100 million, and the money is finished.
Okay.
Completely finished. It's not, the money is not sitting down. It's just not there as I speak. There's no money. And another one is the Swami interchange.
So what happened to the money? Because if there was budget,
they spent it.
On
other things. They spent it on other things, not the reason why they took the loan. They took the loan specifically, you can check from Parliamentary Hansard, specifically for these roads. But they did not use it for these same roads.
In 6 months, have you figured out what they use the money for?
Well, I'm not interested in going into the detail like what they use the money for. The truth is that it's not there. I just want to focus on the job and fix the situation. The situation as we inherited. So the contractor, you could see that the contractor, others are, you saw the demonstration on that road and all. Yeah. Now it's a liability on us. It's a responsibility on President Mahama to fix it. So President Mahama has lifted this project in particular to be part of the big push. And the contractor has since been paid.
We'll bring you that slide shortly. Now, away from that, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, has called out successive government for their complicity in the never-ending bloating of the public payroll. Finance Minister Dr. Kesela Tuforsen disclosed that a nationwide payroll audit has uncovered significant irregularities in Ghana's public sector salary administration, including more than 14,000 unverifiable workers on the payroll. Presenting the 2025 mid-year budget review in Parliament on Thursday, Dr. Tuforsen revealed that 53,307 individuals classified as retired, reassigned, terminated, on leave without pay, or even deceased are still receiving salaries under the government payroll.
Then this is pending. Already, this year, we have exceeded our wage budget by 1.34 billion Ghana cedis.
And you say it's because of the last-minute
recruitment. The previous administration recruited a lot of people in the last quarter of 2024 into the payroll. And as a result, some of them, in some cases, we were told that they were recruiting 1,000. But actually, the number of people that went to the payroll is 2 times that amount. And they've all gone to the payroll.
But you've also recruited.
You can't. No, we have not done any major recruitment since we came to office. We have not. We haven't. You need to assess the situation first.
I heard the defense minister at the press conference
that he intends to recruit. Has not done that.
You have the money?
So I'm saying that I want to do the payroll audit And after the payroll audit, I've announced some numbers. I'm waiting for the Auditor General to complete the payroll audit. I believe we can make some savings before I can give them the go-ahead to recruit.
Reacting to this on the post, Nagraj President Angel Kobunu said politicians are complicit in the problem and must take full responsibility.
Controller 3 months prior to your retirement will indicate on your payslip informing you that you are about to retire 3 months prior to your retirement. Now they don't do it anymore, and they should tell us why they are not doing it anymore. Right. So for me, look, these are scratching the surface of the payroll burden and the payroll problem. The payroll is overbloated because there are certain politically infused activities that controller all over the years is being directed by political bigwigs to pay.
He warned that the ongoing audits may not succeed unless things are done differently.
You see the audit that was carried by the audit service. You will realize that a lot of people will be taken off payroll, only to realize that they've wrongly taken off payroll. They will agitate and they have to come back on the payroll. You see the audit that was done by a special prosecutor. In the northern region, for example, huge number of active workers, especially teachers, were taken off the payroll, only to realize that those people were in active service. So they had to revert and bring them back to the payroll. And the months that they were not paid, they had to be paid. And that is exactly what is going to happen right now, where people who are actually working. The only problem, maybe on the day that the audit service people came, they did not see those workers at post.
Right.
Instead of sitting with the management for management to clarify for you why those workers were not at post on that day, they just tick those people and indicate that those people do not exist.
Now, moving away from that, you risk a 1-year jail term or a hefty fine if you misrepresent yourself with unearned academic titles, especially doctoral degrees. That's the warning from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, which has vowed to crack the whip on offenders. The latest caution is directed at the 2024 flag bearer of the All People's Congress, APC, Hassan Ayariga, who has been urged to desist from publicly using his honorary doctorate title. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra, GTEC's Director General, Professor Abdullah Jinapo, said the Commission will no longer tolerate the blatant disregard for its directives.
The Ghana Tertiary Education Commission says it will no longer tolerate individuals parading themselves with unearned academic qualifications. The Commission is especially concerned about the misuse of honorary doctorate titles. It's now threatening legal actions against offenders, starting with 2024 flag bearer of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga. At a press briefing in Accra, GTEC's Director General, Professor Abdullah Jinapo, said several warnings have gone unheeded. The Commission is now adopting a strategy of naming, shaming, and persecuting.
No institution, let me state for the avoidance of doubt, within our jurisdiction is allowed to issue honorary professor. Professorship is an earned rank. Its use of academic titles such as doctor, professor, chartered, constitutes an offense under the law. Penalties for violations include fines up to 250 penalty units, imprisonment for up to a year or both. The canker has festered for a very long time. People have gotten away with it, and GTEC even trying to more or less raise the awareness of the general public that this is wrong in itself is problematic. We didn't hear from him. We sent him a message. We didn't hear from him. Then we wrote to him officially.
Professor Jinapo rejected accusation of bias, emphasizing that GTEC's actions are based on verified evidence rather than political affiliation or personal interest.
Why do people want to use it? As I indicated, it could be what? Self-aggrandizement, self-importance. what do they call it, grandstanding, or some may be ignorant. So you give them the benefit of doubt. I've heard people say, why is it that you're not going after Kwame Despite? Then I ask them, have you seen Kwame Despite sign that I'm Dr. Kwame Despite? No, he doesn't sign.
He's also issued a stern caution to media houses, urging them to independently verify academic credentials before addressing public figures by such titles.
As media houses, we don't just take information just like that. We also have to do our background checks and more or less be able to profess opinions when it comes to these issues. At the end of the day, if the person is doing something illegal and you are more or less facilitating that illegality, it's called conspiracy. It's in our interest.
GTEC says this crackdown is crucial to restoring academic integrity and shielding the public from being misled. Stephen Manson's report read to you.
We have more news update for you right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Joy Newsroom. My name is Winston Taki, and now to more news. The overlord of Dagbon, Nadanyana Abukari II, has called for the adoption of a new mining approach that showcases African nations' ability to extract minerals responsibly, leaving the environment more prosperous than before. To achieve this, he suggests Ghana can learn valuable lessons from successful mining practices around the world to transform its mining sector. They oversaid this at a forum organized by the Mining Commission in Tamale.
The engagement is part of a broader effort to review and update Ghana's mining policy with the goal of creating a more effective and sustainable framework for the mining sector. Speaking at the Minerals Commission stakeholder engagement with the Northern Regional House of Chiefs in Tamale, spokesperson for the Overlord, Zangbanlana Na Dr. Jacob Mahama, said the mining companies should set aside funds to support communities they operate in.
Ghana must lead a mining revolution that proves to the world that African nations can extract minerals from the earth while leaving it more prosperous than we found it. This can be done as witnessed by the lessons from global success stories. In Chile, small-scale copper miners were once scattered and struggling. Today, through cooperative mining clusters, over 15,000 small-scale miners work together, sharing technology, training, and markets. Every mining license should come with a community development fund. Before any shovel touches our soil, mining companies must deposit funds that guarantee clean water systems for affected communities, educational scholarship for local children, healthcare facilities that serve long after mining ends, alternative livelihood training for when mines close.
Deputy Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, Isaac Akando, said that the Dagbon Traditional Council has up to 2 weeks to put together what they want to see in the Act.
And in line with the current administration's objective of putting Ghanaians at the forefront of mining, so we can have Ghanaians benefiting from the greater value chain of this industry, a lot needs to change. So today we are here to listen to the people of the Dagbon traditional area and also give them about 2 weeks to submit their official stance as to what they want to be captured in the Act as well as the mining policy. So as Ghanaians, we can see real benefits from our mineral resources. An Act or a mining policy that can protect our environment, give us a sustainable mining, and much more benefit for this generation and the generations ahead.
Now, Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, has described the country's youth employment crisis as taking time bomb that will derail Ghana's development. The union has called for a deliberate policy aimed at job creation, urging government to foster an enabling business climate. General Secretary of Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Ghana, Morgan Ayawinwe, was speaking at the State ICU National Youth Conference in Tamale.
Held as a prelude To the 12th Quadrennial Delegate Conference of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, the Youth Conference provided a platform to assess activities of the National Youth Committee and elect new leaders for the next 4 years. The union emphasized that grooming young workers through structured education and trade union training is key to building the next generation of responsible and productive national leaders. As Ghana's youth battle rising unemployment, Industrial and Commercial Workers Union is sounding the alarm, calling on government to adopt bold, sustainable policies that will create jobs and secure the country's economic future. Here is the General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Morgan Ayawini.
So our problem, even dating back, successive governments have tried to put in policies, but it appears those policies are not working or they have not worked. So this is the time that we need a deliberate policy to be designed by government that would surely address the concerns of youth unemployment in the country. Otherwise, we will be paying lip service to the issue of unemployment in our country. We need the youth to help in the turnaround of our economy.
Head of Youth and Gender of ICU, Esinam Ifuapoku, touches on the need to onboard the youth to increase productivity.
The future of the union is dependent on the youth or the young workers, and so without them it's very difficult to achieve productivity. And so this team is very crucial at this time so that we get the youth on board to increase productivity. And as a union, numbers are our pride, and so with productivity we know we'll achieve the numbers.
Meanwhile, National Youth Chair of ICU, Samuela Amofa Brago, who maintained her seat, says it is essential to engage more youth in the activities of the union.
Getting this position means mobilizing more youth. It means reaching out to more people to know what the union is about and what the union can do for them. Getting more young workers involved so that the union can grow and have a future.
The youth conference was on the theme Enhancing Productivity at the Workplace, the Role of the Young Worker.
Now, moving on, investigative journalist Erastus Asare Donko of Joy News has been awarded the EELL Africa 2025 Environmental Heroes Award in recognition of his outstanding contribution to environmental sustainability and cultural preservation in Ghana. The award was presented at a brief ceremony held at the British Council in Accra. Here's more.
Participants, forum.
Thank you very much. This is really humbling. Nana, thank you. Nana, thank you. And to the EEL conference, this is big. And these are some of the things that motivate us, push us to the boundaries. And to all the prayer warriors across the country who continuously pray for our survival, you are the reason we do this. And I think together we can really save our planet, the only space we have.
Now let's bring you some NSMQ update. Bosomtri Girls STEM Senior High School has described the experience at the 2025 Ashanti Regional NSMQ qualifiers as encouraging but revealing. after narrowly missing out on a spot at the national championship. The all-girls STEM-focused school scored 37 points, falling slightly short of the 40-point cut-off required to qualify for both the NSMQ Nationals and Zonal Championship. There is more in this report.
It was a close call for Bosumtwi Girls System Senior High School at the Ashanti Regional Qualifiers for the 2025 NSMQ. The all-girls school, which is barely a few years old, ended the contest with 37 points, just shy of the 40 needed to qualify. Konongo Odumase SHS clinched victory in that contest with 49 points, while New Odubiasi SHS followed with 22.
What we do in our school is more practical, but here is more of the theoretical aspects too. And I would say it's somehow due to some things we didn't make it right. If we had been a bit more conscious, we could have made it.
The school's approach to education prioritizes experimentation, robotics, and innovation, an applied learning model that, according to the students and teachers, differs from the structure of the NSMQ.
If there was to be a robotics in NSMQ, then that wouldn't make a difference. So the robotics in our STEM and also the more practical aspects in our STEM is what differs the STEM from your NSMQ.
So we as STEM students, we do more of the practicals. Though we have the theory aspect, but then we apply the theory in whatever that we do. So it's just that in our school, we do more of the practicals. Yes, that is it. But then when it comes to NSMQ, it's more of the theory. So like she said, if we were to have a practical aspect of this NSMQ, we would definitely qualify.
While they may not be heading to the nationals this year, the Bosumtwi team says the journey continues.
Yeah, we will, because this time we're optimistic that we will qualify, but just a few things that didn't happen well among the contestants in the first 2 rounds. But then in future, we hope to surprise you.
Meanwhile, 3 schools, including current zonal champions, Kumasi High School, secured a place in the nationals as well as zonals with 56 points.
We are going to retain our seats. We are going to retain whatever that people know Kumasi High School to be. Yes.
But are you not afraid of the likes of Opoku Prempe and this time Arias Santo to be coming?
Yeah, we are aware Kumasi Prempe will be coming, Opoku will be coming. We are Kumasi High School, and our motto is truth conquers, and we know that until all is said and done, Kumasi High School, we are going to take this champion again.
Reporting for J News, I am Collins Frimpong.
While some schools are marching into the next stage of the National Science and Maths Quiz with cheers and excitement, others are quietly walking away with sadness, but not empty of hope. Adobe Asare brings you a report of the real struggles behind the defeat of some schools.
This is my first time using the bell, and it is at the regional qualifiers.
While the spotlight often shines on the victors, today we turn to those who don't make it. At the National Science and Maths Quiz regional qualifiers, not every team leaves with a win, but many leave with valuable lessons and stories that demand to be heard. At Oti Senior High Technical School, the journey ended earlier than they hoped. Their team says they'll be back stronger and more prepared.
Though I wasn't happy, but that's what has happened.
We thought we have prepared, but we realized that the contest didn't fall in our domain. We think when the opportunity is given to us once again, we will go to the drawing board and do a preparation much better.
At Biakuya Community SHS, the odds were always stacked. The team was made up of just 1 science student and 1 student from the art class who stepped in to help.
I feel sad, but it's okay because I'm in first year. All of us, we are in first year. We are not in second year or third year, so we are just trying our best. They don't have science students, so I'm the first person. I'm the only science student in the school. The boy that I did the thing with, the boy is doing general arts.
Our school
doesn't have adequate science teachers that are to help in the department in teaching this science, especially the elective science subject.
And then there's Yabram Community SHS, where contestant Ngamabui Kweku Benyume shared something that stunned the room.
Lacking some devices like the bell. This is my first time using the bell, and it is at the regional qualifiers. And this is the first time I'm using it in a crowd, like a large crowd.
These are not just tales of defeat. They are a glimpse into the challenges that persist. Lack of resources, poor infrastructure, and limited academic support continue to hold many schools back. Yet, these students show up, they compete, and they dream. For Joy News, my name is Adobe Asare.
Hundreds of young Christians gathered at the Bethany Methodist Church in Jowulu for Explore 2025, an annual youth evangelism event that combines powerful worship, intentional discipleship, and impactful community engagements. The night's highlight was a spirit-filled performance by renowned gospel minister Ohima Mercy, who led the congregation in an unforgettable session of praise and worship. Nicholas Eko Yemwa has more in this report.
It was a moment of deep worship, praise, and revival as young believers from across Jowulu gathered for Explore 2025 at the Bethany Methodist Church. Organized by the Bethany Methodist Youth Fellowship, the program now in its 11th year seeks to build spiritual maturity among the youth and strengthen their walk with Christ. This year's theme, growing into Christian maturity, taken from Ephesians chapter 4 verse 15, was at the heart of every song, prayer, and word shared throughout the night. Here is chairperson of the Jowulu Methodist Youth Fellowship, Anita Frimpo.
What we do is that every year the youth will lead the church in a time of worship, praise, and prayers as well. And then we renew our commitments to the Lord through this program. We have a lot of young people who are not even Christians coming here, and then we believe that as they come here, they encounter Christ in any way that they can. And then the process from this also goes into our prison evangelism. So every year and every quarter we visit prisons around us, and then a maximum prison. It could be in Sanwem or Ankafo. So the process from this program goes to support the inmates as we fellowship and as we share with them, and then we make a donation as well.
A major highlight was gospel musician Ohima Mercy, who led worship with passion and power, connecting deeply with the crowd and leaving the auditorium charged with praise.
I think it's my first time experiencing Explore, and it's a blessing. And I believe that God has a purpose for this. And I know that those people that came to Explore experience are going home with a testimony, joy, feel good, so much testimony that you can see. And I was so blessed to be part of this great 2025 Explore.
But Explore 2025 isn't just about the moment, it's about the mission. Proceeds from the event will go towards supporting ongoing prison evangelism programs, reaching souls beyond the church walls. Reporting for Joy News, Nicholas Eko Yemwa.
Now, away from that, the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Rita Na Odole Sowa, has served notice of government's plans to commence the restructuring of the La General Hospital, which was demolished in 2020 due to reported structural defects. The project was stalled since the Mahama administration took office. He's speaking at the launch of the long-term development plan for the constituency. The former MCE of Ladma assured the public that the hospital will be rebuilt before the end of the Mahama administration.
The event served as a platform for the Ladade Kotopong Municipal Assembly to unveil its long-term development plan aimed at improving the lives of residents in the constituency. The plan seeks to enhance access to essential amenities and ensure the availability of key facilities across the district. Speaking at the ceremony, the Member of Parliament for Ladade Kotopong, Rita Na Odole Sowa, said the La General Hospital would be completed before the end of the Mahama administration.
Infrastructure, we take care of our health infrastructure, and on the health infrastructure, the La General Hospital work is ongoing, and I have met with the Minister for Health, and we are looking at ways to ensure that it will be completed. And I want to assure the good people of Dade Kotopon that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will continue and complete the La General Hospital before he leaves office.
The long-term plan is set to be rolled out over a 12-year period, spanning 3 election cycles. It focuses on key areas such as job creation, education, sanitation, and health. Under the plan, appropriate facilities and infrastructure will be provided to meet the needs of the people and improve their quality of life.
A deliberate timeline leading us into our Assembly's Silver Jubilee celebration in the year 2037. Our targets are clear: to create over 5,000 decent jobs, deliver improved infrastructure, expand essential services, digitize 70% of our service delivery, and build a more modern, responsive, and accountable governance system.
With a clear vision and timeline, the Ladade Kotopon Development Plan signals a renewed commitment to
On this afternoon, following the confirmed death of High Life legend Charles Kwadwo Fosu, popularly known as Daddy Lumba, the iconic musician passed away in the early hours of today, Saturday, July 26, 2025, after a short illness. A family statement issued through D106.9 FM confirmed the heartbreaking news, describing him as a cultural icon whose music touched countless lives. Now, the statement says, with profound sorrow and deep grief, the Fosu family announces the passing of Ghana's beloved musical icon Charles Kwadwo Fosu, popularly known as Daddy Lumba, who passed away earlier today, Saturday, July 26, 2025, after a short illness. Daddy Lumba was more than a musician. He was a cultural icon whose music touched countless lives. His soulful voice provided the soundtrack to our love stories, and his poignant lyrics captured the poetry of our struggles, dreams, and resilience. During his time of immense loss, we respectfully request privacy for the family and loved ones as they navigate this profound grief. Details of the funeral arrangement will be shared in the coming days. Signed, Fatali Ali Yala Espa, Counsel for the Fosu family, Baba Jamal and Associates. Just common graphic showbiz reports that Daddy Lumba died at the bank hospital in Accra, where he had been receiving treatment for an undisclosed medical condition. May his soul rest in peace. On that note, we wrap up today's bulletin on Joy Newsroom. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching and have a good business day. Goodbye.